In a world wrought with struggle and strife, a world rich with beauty and grandeur, a world where peril lies around every corner, a world of casting and pony. One group steps up to share the perspective of the masses in this, the world of Warcraft. We are Ponecast, the voice of the players.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Welcome back. You are listening and or watching Ponecast. This is episode 67, and we are in patch 6.2. I am your Warlock host, Belle. I did bring the Riders of Rohan with me today. I brought the mage who cried for Jamili today, Friza.
Yes, he is one of the last frost mages in the world that are absolutely phenomenal at their game. And it doesn't matter if he loses or not, the guy is still a legend within himself. You guys need to watch the guy's Twitch, watch his YouTube highlights. The guy's amazing. But he lost. What can we do? You know, just got to keep rooting for him, you know, in the next arena or
well, now
whatever.
Now the shoes are ready for you to fill.
No. that guy's skill is
maybe
it's up. It's too far.
I did also bring the Death Knight who likes to lure in his raiders to his ice cream truck Lycan.
Yeah, last week the conversation came up in the raid was this, and they're like,
and that's real. That happened.
Oh yes, they're like, do we get ice cream? I'm like, sure. So I went and bought that Teagle and Fuels strawberry ice cream that you can get the little ice cream cones and brought it to them. And somebody asked me if they could have sprinkles. I said, no, sprinkles are for winners.
Sprinkles are for winners. Because sprinkles are for winners.
But I passed out ice cream to everyone. Yep.
You gotta get those sprinkle little containers and just just put them all over the house.
Bloke may not know what that reference is. It's for an auto commercial.
It's from Progressive. Later. Sprinkles are for winners.
Yeah, no, I definitely have no idea what you were talking about.
I don't even know what he's talking about either, so I'm good.
I did also bring the shaman who is back from Indonesia and apparently almost died from Ebola, even though I warned him, huge bloke.
Oh my gosh.
This close. I may or may not have taken your advice and got a little bit sick, and now I can't do lots of things because I'm highly contagious.
Oh, man.
I tried to tell you I don't step outside of my box very often just because I'm worried about things like Ebola, bird flu, swine flu.
I'd give him credit, though. Like,
even herpes, really. I'm afraid to sit in public toilets. So, I mean, because that's
the amount of times I've been to that country, though, and come back unscathed, it was bound to happen eventually. So the odds are still in my favor.
For the fans who are listening and are watching... And I'm watching. He showed us his battle wound, and it's really gross. It is. It's up there.
I nearly made a certain someone.
I almost threw up because I don't like stuff like that.
We're happy. We're happy that he's alive and well and contagious.
Right. We're happy that he's contagious and not here with us. So we're good. Be as contagious as you'd like. So I'm going to jump right into the news. We're going to go to the news rather quickly just because of a certain announcement that was made this week has caused everybody to put on their tinfoil hat, and we have lots to discuss, much to discuss. So Draenor Dungeon bonus event is going on until August 3rd. What happens here is you complete your 4 Mythic Dungeons, and you actually get heroic Hellfire Citadel gear as loot upon your completion of the 4th dungeon for Mythic. So make sure you guys go in there and get that. It's relatively easy. Mythic isn't too difficult. Just requires a lot of everybody being on the same page for certain bosses, but other than that, it's pretty easy.
So go with guildies.
Go with people that are not going to yell at you, even though it's usually your guildies that yell at you more than anybody else. Wing 3 of LFR did open July 28th, and that's still going on. I stepped into it, wasn't too terrible. We had actually stepped into it in normal this week. But the bosses are Iskar, Sokathar, and Tyrant Valhari. The gear item level drop for this wing is going to be 675 to 685. Towards the last wing, you're going to be into the 695s for gear. So it's, as you guys have noticed, it's going up in slow increments. Make sure you guys step into LFR if you're not in a progression situation. And if you are, well, then you've already probably beat it on heroic, and who cares? But for those of you in LFR, make sure you guys go check that out. Also, a quick reminder in case anybody didn't watch last week's episode, or maybe they forgot, you as of Tuesday, you do not have to cap out in Ashran anymore.
Holla.
Those last 200 conquest points, you can get the normal way via arenas and BGs. You don't have to go to Ashran for it. Ashran's still good if you want to gear for alts and stuff like that via the nice little helper I gave last week to help you be more successful in Ashran. But other than that, all you serious PvPers, you don't have to step foot in Ashran to cap out. So I know Fries is super stoked about that.
Oh yes, very happy.
Also, this isn't really too serious because a lot of people are pretty much over the garrisons and the resources and stuff, but I know myself, I use the garrison resources to purchase mats consistently. If I didn't farm that week or whatever, I go and I purchase the mats at my trade post. The daily heroic dungeon, instead of giving you 50 garrison resources, it actually gives you 200. So that's a pretty nice buff that Blizzard gave for that. So I think it should have always been that way. I mean, you're dungeoning in general is irritating to me, but, you know, I guess if you're going to go forth and multiply in a dungeon, then at least you get 200 garrison resources instead of 50. Sad day. Community member Bashiok is no longer with Blizzard. He did post a very, very, to gamers, it was a very tearful. To me, I got a little teary-eyed when I read his post, and basically he just stated that another opportunity has come his way, and he decided to take it. A lot of people in the community, I mean, he's been with us since 2003. I say us like we work for Blizzard, but
Yeah.
we ain't nobody. But here's what happened. Some people had commented on a bunch of Facebook posts and said, well, he's abandoning a sinking ship. I don't really think that's the case. I think what happens is these guys spend a good portion of their life working for a company that they love, and because of that, they get so much opportunities thrown in their direction that I think sometimes they take it because it's time to move on. Doesn't mean they're abandoning a sinking ship. It means he very, very aptly stated, now I get to be surprised. I get to be surprised about expansion announcements. I get to be, instead of having to keep Blizzard secrets, I get to be the one sitting and waiting to be what's going to be announced and waiting to be able to check this stuff out in real, because he's a WoWer. I mean, that's most of these guys that get into this, especially on the WoW community side, they've already played it. That's what led them to Blizzard. So it's one of those bittersweet moments. He was a great community manager, and you know, we lose good ones. And Aja she'd wrote up the article for the Pwnecast Daily Quest, and she put it very beautifully. This gives us room, the more of the veterans that leave, this gives us room for fresh eyes that see things differently and might be able to bring something to the table that's groundbreaking.
And that's always a good way of looking at it, you know. I mean, I come from a big corporate company, you know, and you find out these managers have been there, you know, for 15, 20 years. They've been there for 10 plus layoffs, and I'm just like, you guys need to get fired or quit, because you guys have no ideas. You guys are just doing the same old thing. Not that it's not working, but maybe there's something out there that we're not grasping because you're so stuck in your ways, or maybe you're checking out.
It's time for some change. Time for some new blood. Not saying that the old blood sucks, but if they're already going in a good direction, obviously they had some type of opportunity that was so good it took them away from Blizzard.
Right.
I mean,
and it would have to be good, because you got to put yourself in his shoes, people. I mean, seriously, you're working for Blizzard. You're up there with the top of the Hefes, and you leave. You got something offered to you.
For us white people who don't know what Hefes are, those are like the big dogs.
But look what happened with Greg Street, aka Ghostcrawler. Ghostcrawler left, I believe it was 2013, and they said the same thing. Oh, he's leaving a sinking ship. The man's now like the director of League of Legends. You know, it's not like he's stepping away from it just because he wants to get away. I mean, these guys have started off as technical support representatives in 2003. Both of them.
Sometimes they just like we get frustrated with WoW and we get frustrated with the monotonous and the same. Sometimes these guys don't have challenges anymore. They're not being challenged. It's such a face roll to them that where's the challenge to them? And I think that's the nature of change and moving forward. And I hate that this entire World of Warcraft community and all of the trolls are like, oh, he's abandoning a sinking ship. Why can't you just take something for what it is and shut up about it? Like, seriously.
Yeah. Well, look at Bungie. Look at Bungie. For all the people who know who Bungie is, they all left. The whole company left Halo, and they didn't leave it because it wasn't successful. They didn't leave it because it wasn't working. They left it because they said we want to do something new. We're tired of being pushed around by Xbox, and we just want to make new games. We want to do a lot more games, but we're so stuck on Halo, so they left it. Not because it was a burning ship. I mean, look at WoW. It's way bigger than Halo's ever been, and this guy's not leaving a sinking ship. I don't believe that. It would have to be. It would have to be down to the thousands of players before it's a sinking ship.
I agree with that.
It's still in the millions.
I do agree with that.
I say good on him. He probably just got bored, and I think Bill hit it on the head earlier. Like, being a player, he just wants that opportunity to go back to enjoying the game. Because I would imagine,
what fun is it when you've been on the one side?
When you're working around it like all day, every day as a job, the last thing you want to do when you go home, I'll just sit down and play again because I didn't do enough of that at work today. So now you can go back to actually enjoying playing the game. It's
pretty much my job 24/7. But then again, he has years on me. I mean, he does obviously way more than little old girl over here does. But no, I agree, and I think it's good for him. And I what was that?
Golf clap.
If he golf claps, I golf clap automatically.
Oh, got you. It's a sinking thing. Got you.
Yeah. I don't know what he's clapping for, but
I love that brotherhood that you don't even care. He could have been clapping for Ebola.
Yeah.
We don't even really know. And you were just like, yes, good job.
Hey, I didn't die from it.
So
we're the strong ones.
We wish you well, Bashiok, in all of your endeavors, and I think it's awesome. And I get excited when people move on to better things, or bigger, or even different, or whatever their definition of it is. And I look forward to the new blood that runs through here, and hopefully they share our same ideals and can put Blizzard in a direction that's going to be successful for the players. I think also too, before we move on, I think maybe sometimes people might become a little bit jaded dealing with the World of Warcraft community. When you're a community manager, you deal with a lot of fuckery on the forums. That's your job, of course, but I think sometimes you lose the love and you kind of forget what you were there for in the first place. It's really, really hard for people to understand where gamers are coming from when they're bitching on forums because they're so over it. They're tired of the constant complaining. And I think that it's always good when community managers are either moving up in ranks to a different position or, moving out into something different, because I think that might happen on occasion. Their empathy might be lost a little bit in the years of not bitterness or, any of those things, just frustration of just dealing with the same stuff. So I think it's good that we get some fresh blood in there that will, he didn't do a bad job. He did an excellent job. So that's not a dig on him whatsoever. I think it was a good move, and I think that's why these things happen. I think they happen because these guys realize with themselves, either I've been offered, there's only so many times you can turn down a job that you make more money and you get to do bigger things before you're finally like, as much as I love you, I have to take. And
that's nice. And that's a nice thing to have on your resume. I worked for WoW. I mean, come on.
For since 2003.
Yeah.
That's not.
What's my competition? If you go apply anywhere else, what's your competition really?
Although he hasn't said what this endeavor is.
I'm keen to see where he pops up next.
I'm sure they'll find out. You what?
I'm keen to see where he's going to pop up
next.
I
agree. I think it's good. It's super secret
when we
that
find
he didn't
out
say it, because everybody that's left has announced where they're going.
Yeah.
He's the only one that was
maybe he's going to Hawaii to disappear.
maybe
he has enough money to.
Maybe he's just needing a break and wants to.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Going to Indonesia.
The North American. That's why I don't go to places.
That was a good one. So
the North American Online Arena BlizzCon qualifiers for Cup 2, Rise of Lasak won 3-2 over Temple of Storm. That's the reason Fries is all sad, because Temple of Storm is Jamili. Now, it was pretty. They really tried really hard. I have to be really honest. They gave it the good old honest effort, and it was pretty awesome.
Every time a mage dies in tournaments, I get like that. This is a disturbance in the force, and I'm like, that's not good. Some mage just died, and that's how I feel when I find out that a mage team will lose like that. It just saddens me.
Well, I mean, it happens.
But you're one step closer to glory.
What?
Step up and fill those boots.
I tried to tell him already that, if you want to see some change, be the change you want to see.
I'm wearing those little Chinese slippers, and he's wearing these big old
But you're
boots.
sitting on your couch watching Netflix, you lazy fuck, and go do something about it.
Jamili's great. Netflix is awesome.
Netflix never lets me down.
Yeah. That's pretty much my life. She just
I
explained
really
my
do.
life.
I know what he does. I know he
Yeah.
watches that stuff. So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. But
That's the truth.
the next set of qualifiers is going to be on August 15th. Keep in mind, we're going to be seeing a lot of these guys at BlizzCon anyway for the BlizzCon Championship. So much stuff to be said here, and a lot of things that are going to be going on in the future, and we'll make sure we keep you guys abreast of that information. I've always wanted to say that and it be in the proper context instead of me just being like a dirty old man. So apparently I've made that happen. Are you proud? No?
Do what you got to do.
Get a golf. I did get a golf. Like it's like I ain't giving you shit. So
I was just going with it. I just went with it.
Blizzard announced that August 6th at GameCon,
Yeah.
they are going to be revealing the new X-Pack.
Best birthday present ever.
First, let's address a few things. I know that a lot of you BlizzCon goers are frustrated because you feel like you wanted that to happen at BlizzCon. Just a few things to point out first. It's BlizzCon, not WoWCon. It's okay for it to not be all about World of Warcraft. It's not just World of Warcraft. It's StarCraft, it's Overwatch, it's Diablo, it's Heroes of the Storm. I mean, it's not just that. Let's talk about the pros of why Blizzard would do something like take their own thunder at their own con and give it to Gamescom. Well, if you think about it like this, it's really difficult for them to trademark anything nowadays because we have some internet stalkers that are on that trademark like in every single
I'm doing it again right now.
So they can't even really do much like alpha or beta per se because they can't trademark it. They don't want to go through all that development for them to not be able to trademark it. In addition to that, if they announce it, which they are, at Gamescom, what does that mean for us BlizzCon goers? That means beta keys, people, live gameplay possibilities, and an earlier expansion release instead of waiting another 6 months.
Cinematic.
So, and
Trailers,
but obviously they're probably going to make the bulk about what they've done so far with the expansion at BlizzCon, and it's going to go in league with the movie, we're sure. So,
Here's the thing: at the Gamescom, since I looked it up a little bit just now, I don't think that's the thing though. Like the NBA championships, that when they win, not just them, but hockey as well. You have a chance of winning the championship in someone else's home. And when they win, it's like, yeah, you won, but the whole crowd's like, boo, you beat our team. And sometimes I feel like that's going to be Gamescom. Is there people that are going to be there that play? Of course, but is it going to be a freaking Super Bowl celebration like it is at BlizzCon? No.
No, but see, they don't need that because
they play Halo, Call of Duty.
They're streaming it live. All they need is for all us wowers to watch that stream.
And we're going to watch it. Oh,
I'm there.
I mean, we're going to watch it. But I'm just saying though, if I was the creators, I would love to see my fans enjoy it in front of my eyes. That'd be kind of cool.
I think that's part of what they're going to do at BlizzCon is possibly give those that are going to BlizzCon early access to be able to do some live demos.
And everybody would probably shut up at that point.
I agree. So
all the BlizzCon people.
For those of you that are upset, try not to be frustrated. Understand that Blizzard always does everything for a reason. And although I'm not on Blizzard's jock, there's a lot of shit Blizzard does that pisses me off. So this is not me kissing Blizzard's ass.
And we still don't know the real reason why they're doing it at Gamescom.
Theory crafting.
Theory crafting.
You know the real reason?
Almost 100%.
How do you know? Because you're BFFs with Metzen? I don't understand.
No, but if you look at the timeline of how everything's setting up for the movie that's going to be launched in July next year.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's obvious, though. The movie, of course.
Well, most betas take about 6 months for Blizzard.
Right.
And so that's going to take you to May, if we get it at BlizzCon.
Right.
Take 1 more month after that, and that's going to put, for like the pre-expansion stuff that usually happens, that's going to put it right at the movie. And they want to launch this movie because you're going to get the geeks that want to go see it, that aren't playing WoW, going, wow, this is a cool movie, I want to play the game. and you're going to get the guys that have played the game in the past wanting to go back to it. So all of this is lining up for the launch of the movie, and I think that's what's perfect about them announcing it this weekend.
What if Blizzard plans on giving away beta keys to ticket holders of the movie? Wouldn't that be a marketing genius? I mean, think about it. You want people to see your movie, and there might be people that don't want to watch it. What if in going to see this movie, you get a beta key? Smart thinking, right? I don't know if Blizzard would ever do that because it's a lot of people to give beta access to, but I mean, that's pretty...
I was going to say, like, how many people around the world are going to go see that movie?
There's going to be people waiting at the trash can trying to get the beta keys out of there.
Is I have a whole crew now that I get to go to see the movie with because I'm not alone in Arizona anymore with my people. So I got gamers here.
You got some peeps.
They might not be good ones, but I mean, I have them.
I'm going to tell them you said that.
I'm just kidding.
Belle and her midget brigade.
I do got a bunch of midgets in my house. It's hilarious.
It's little people.
They're not little people. They're midgets.
Okay, let's offend everybody today.
Well, maybe they like to be called little people. There was that show, Little People, Big World. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Anybody else watch that? Or was it
he had the pit bulls or whatever.
And they're getting a divorce. I'm sad, but that's totally off topic.
Were they a tow truck company? What were they?
He sold parts that made your car drivable for midgets. So like its extensions, and then he sold stuff for hotels to make it where they could do stuff.
Wow, like, they got a TV show because of that.
They were like midget kits and stuff. Like I don't know if they were called midget kits, but they were a version of little people kits that were for hotels and stuff.
We're getting an email.
Challenged.
Well, it's not an insult. They don't. I mean, I'm white. I don't get insulted when people call me white girl because I'm white. So naturally, if you're
there's a lot of comedians that make a lot of jokes right now. Let's just leave it at that.
Like, fuck me, I can't even say anything literally without offending some possible person.
I don't even know where to throw the disclaimer in here because it's just too extensive right now.
Last week, Friza got called a fanboy. This week, Pistol Pete, I know. Even though you don't like me, you still watch because you like the boys. So Pistol Pete had said, "God, Belle's really annoying," or "Damn, Belle's really annoying," and I commented back and said, "Thanks, I tried really, really hard. I appreciate you acknowledging that." And he said, "Well, at least you responded well to my rude comment." Here's the thing: I don't get offended. I live in a man's world, and I play a man's game. I'm not saying women aren't strong, hear me roar, so all the females that are about to get offended. That's not what I'm saying, and I'm not saying it's separate and we get treated like shit. But I'm saying gaming in general was originally a man's world. Women have exploded into that arena, and they have showed that we're here to play. But largely, I mean, we're a little bit, obviously there's 3 men right here. Clearly I'm a little bit outnumbered. So I don't get offended.
What is that UFC fighter, Ronda? Is that her name? Ronda something?
Badass, though.
Oh, yeah. Ask her about that. I seen her fight on her in her training camp.
One round and they're done. Man,
completely irrelevant because she also plays WoW.
Yes. Right.
She does. That's interesting. And isn't her fight's tonight, I believe. She's fighting tonight.
Yeah, she's quick. Yeah. Literally 1 round and they're done. They don't even survive 1 round.
I would never fight her. Oh, my goodness.
I would never fight her either. I would run like a little bitch to my mom's house. I really would never fight her.
No one would judge you. No one would judge you.
No one would judge anything you do.
Me and you remember Midasman? Yeah. We spent great lengths of time this morning on Bookface discussing how she could beat us up in PvP and then quite happily beat us up in real life.
Does she? She probably would PvP. I don't really know.
Oh, she's good at killing people.
I would be.
So let's get into the theory crafting. I know we have quite a few. Theories that we see. Here's the problem, guys, with what we're about to talk about. It's nearly impossible for us to talk about all of our theories, not talking about the final cinematic for Archmond. So I'm going to tell you right now. I know that there's a lot of you that want to hear our theories, but it would be impossible for us to tell you those without revealing what happened. So as of this moment, if you don't want to hear and you haven't seen the cinematic or nobody spoiled it for you and you don't know for the final boss in Hellfire Citadel, you want to shut it off now, I'll put a little note right here to tell you guys when you can turn it right back on. But you want to just not listen.
Can you just do that when I'm good to come back?
Are you going, seriously?
I haven't.
Oh no, you got it. You're gonna get it anyways.
I'm at LFR. I'm at LFR. I haven't been here for 2 weeks. I'm like 3 weeks behind LFR.
You're gonna hear it.
Yeah, but you're gonna want a theory craft. So it's on you, but
that's 20
minutes. No, you're good.
Go right ahead.
All right.
Okay. So now, spoiler alert, if you don't wanna hear anything we have to say about the end cinematic, go ahead and leave now and watch right here for
Your
the note when you guys
discretion
come back.
is advised.
Okay, go.
All right, real quick, just so everybody knows, the Dark Prophet and Council of Blades have not been trademarked.
Correct.
So this is a big thing. I see the Dark Prophet being pushed around everywhere and said it's a quote-unquote leak.
It's not.
I also see the Council of Blades was trademarked. No, I've searched the 3 trademark companies they usually use, which is New Zealand, the Belgium one, and United States trademark offices. No trademarks have been done. They're probably going to file it. When's it released? They're going to announce Saturday?
They're going to file it after they announce it.
Yeah, it'll be, well, no, they'll have to do it right before. They'll have to do it at least a day before because,
No,
you know why? One person says it and it's gone.
All they have to do is click a button and nobody else can file. Like, the way trademarking works is it all depends on who did it first.
Yeah, I've been watching and I've been scouring the
Well, maybe they'll do it the morning of.
Probably.
Because it'll take 24 hours to probably hit their system to update. So probably, yeah, that's probably accurate. So here's where we need to start. We need to start with what happens at the end of Hellfire Citadel in order for us to understand the different reaches that this could take us in the future.
I'm so torn. Do I take these off?
Nah, you gotta listen.
You should just, because I didn't know it either, and he blew my mind. I was like, what?
Okay, so at the end of Hellfire, we have Archimon's dying, and he looks to Gul'dan, which is standing there at the portal that he had let Archimon through. We don't know if it's the same portal, but it is a portal. He reaches out his hand, he grabs Gul'dan and this green beam of death, holds him up in the air, and says, "We made a pact." He forces him through the portal, Archimon dies, the portal explodes, that's the end. You see the Horde leaders and the Alliance leaders there, and you have Khadgar standing there. And what Khadgar does is they immediately, I know it's on the Alliance part, I have not seen the Horde version, but they show Khadgar standing there with Uriel, and they're talking about how everything's over and everything's fine. The big thing you're going to see about what's going on with Khadgar is he still has, and they made a point to show it, that he still has Atiesh, which is the last Guardian's, or which is the Guardian's staff.
The Guardian of Tirisfil?
Guardian of Tirisfil. Which, who that person is that all the major mages and shamans and warlocks and everybody came together. Like, I think Thrall's on it, I know Jaina's on it, and they all sat there and gave a little bit of their essence to the Guardian, and that Guardian is the most powerful person on Azeroth. He is the protector of Azeroth. So after they sit there and talk, and they says, well, if you ever need any help, let us know, and Khadgar says something along the lines of, well, this is a lot bigger than just this. There's something else bigger going on. I'm paraphrasing. At that point, he gets back into Raven form, which now, if you remember, if you're following the lore, Medivh is the only person to ever use Raven form. Not another character in WoW. He gets into Raven form, and he flies away. That's the end.
Drops the mic.
Is that not the ultimate cliffhanger, though?
Right.
Now I know Lycan talked about this months ago, about Khadgar being somebody else.
Oh, you're right. This was like way months ago. This was in the beginning of WOD.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because when we first met Khadgar, if you went into where the portal is, there is a lone raven flying above the portal, just stationary. And I'm going, that doesn't make sense. And then when you find out that Khadgar can do 3 different schools of magic all at once, which should never happen by any means.
Right.
You know, you have Khadgar turning into the Raven, because when you go and you find Garrosh, when you do the legendary quest to look to follow Garrosh to where he went, and you find Kairos there, you follow him while he's flying in Raven form. So all these things are pointing towards either him being A, Medivh, B, possessed by Medivh, or C, that he somehow is now the Guardian of Tirisfil with all these powers, and Medivh somehow gave him his. Not sure what's going on there.
So
yeah, I remember when the first intro, when they found out that they had his staff, when he had that staff in his hand, everybody was like, no, this is not right. This can't be right.
Right.
And now at the end of this expansion, it's all opened to discussion.
So
Whoa.
Her
Well, hold
mind.
on. What
Okay,
happened here?
because
See.
here's the thing. I've been theory crafting, and so has Lycan with one of our writers who's Frost Karen. And he has an article that he's been preparing called How to Build a WoW Expansion. And one of his theories was where they send Gul'dan. And what did he say? Where does he thinks that he's going to Sargeras' tomb?
Right. Well, there's a couple things of where he went. He looked first of all, we got to find out what the hell this pact was. That's the
Right.
most important thing. What the hell did he mean by we made a pact?
Because it could have been
Was it-
several things. It could have been to get
Right.
all of these warlords to drink. And he failed because Kilrog was the only one that drank, correct?
Right.
So it could have been that. It could have been, what was your and I theory? Was a Rathian based, right?
Yeah, that it could have been that they were trying to grab Rathian and bring Rathian to Ford. Can you imagine a dragon demon or demon
Well,
dragon?
he's still a whelpling, though, right?
Well, still has a dragon form. I mean, can you imagine the power that this man has just from doing all this shit that we did in Mists of Pandaria, and then we're going to turn around and make him fell energy?
What are the
I
other
love
possible
it. I love the
pacts that could
foul.
have?
Bring it on.
What are the other possible pacts that could have been in play here?
The Warlords is a big thing. It might have been that,
If I fail, you will go on.
yeah, it could have been says, you know what, you made a pact, we're going to send your ass to the Twisting Needler and make,
Oh.
can you imagine a demon Gul'dan?
So it might not have been I'm shipping you somewhere because you failed our pact. It might have been, okay, I'm dead, and now I need to send you because this was the
Right.
pact. Ooh, I didn't think about that at all.
If you imagine, I mean, can you imagine, we've seen Sokothar, I'm not the Sokothar, but we've seen Archimonde, we've faced Kil'jaeden. These are badass demons. These
Yeah.
are the big ones. Can you imagine a Gul'dan, which is already powerful enough that he can summon Archimonde like he's summoning a regular demon?
Yeah, easily with the greatest of ease.
Right.
Which
Imagine-
Frost Karen had pointed that out. He's like,
Uh-huh.
what was Frost Karen's words? He summoned him like he was an imp.
Yes. And can you imagine what he would be like if he had all the powers of Kil'jaeden and all the powers of Archimonde? It's just
You were
that.
saying like a super.
Now, can Sargeras give him that? I don't think he can give him that, can he?
based off where his soul is, right?
I thought Sargeras picked up the three brothers, and they were already powerful in their own way.
We
He
don't
didn't make
know-
him any more powerful,
We don't know
did he?
where Gul'dan's soul is, right? It could be in the tomb of Sargeras. We don't know where it's at, right? And that's what would make him ultimately the big
Well,
dog.
the original Gul'dan, we're not sure where his quote-unquote soul is, only because the skull was consumed by Illidan. The powers that were within the skull was consumed by Illidan. This is the original Gul'dan.
Uh-huh.
So that's there. Where he sends him now, as for what Fraser was saying, the powers that Kil'jaeden and Archimonde had were not these powers. They did not have these big powers like those two do now.
Okay.
They had a lot of powers to begin with. Sargeras, yes, definitely gave them a lot more power.
See, I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, I know he could do that because obviously in the original World of Warcraft, you can see him give people powers,
What?
and all that.
What world
But I
do
just
you
didn't
see
know
us
how
going
much.
to in this expansion?
The dark. The dark.
No. Oh, yes. I
Yes.
see us going to Azeroth. We are going back to Azeroth. Here's why. There are three huge artifacts that need to be found and that I think that he's going to go after.
Fraser's gonna have a breakdown.
He's going to go after the book of Dalaran, which is one of the three artifacts that Ner'zhul was opening up all the portals on Draenor before it got ripped apart. He's going to look for the Skull of Gul'dan, which is the original skull, and he's also probably going to be looking for the Scepter of Sargeras.
We talked about that this is a different timeline. So whatever happens here, they're still whoever we killed here is still alive in our timeline. So is it possible that he sent him back to our original timeline, which would mean two Gul'dans?
Our Gul'dan's gone.
Our Gul'dan's dead.
Definitely dead.
So what ripple effect would that have if he sent him back to our timeline?
Wouldn't have much as a time thing. Wouldn't really affect it. Not like if you sent Varian to another Varian. I think that would be a problem.
Back to the Future stuff blows my freaking mind.
And if you read the end of War Crimes when they're trying Garrosh, they had a whole bunch of different. They had a different Jaina there. They had a different Anduin. They had a different, and these guys were fighting each other, and that caused a problem with the whole timeline to begin with. I think that's really what's starting to shake a lot of this up. So you don't want to put two Gul'dans in the same spot. Him coming over, I think is going to be perfectly fine.
You know what's and you know what's great about this whole time thing is I found out later on watching a lot of TV shows on the commentaries, there is actually people in this world whose their specialty is time warp, time travel, and I'm not sure they get paid for this. I'm not saying they went to school for it, but they literally lived their whole life and studied how time travel works and what does it affect, the butterfly effect. And so I guarantee when World of Warcraft the creators go to do a time travel, they go through these experts and they try to make sure that what they're doing is going to be done right.
So I personally don't think we're going back to Azeroth. I believe Frostcairn has a really, really good, his theory crafting, it almost feels a little bit on point to me. He sees us going back to the South Seas. He sees us fighting the Legion. He sees that the Legion is already attacking and using what's happening in Draenor as a misdirect because they're sending boats through the South Seas and we're not noticing because we're busy fighting bullshit on Draenor. But it's happening. That's what he believes, and I don't see Blizzard taking us back to Azeroth again.
No, well, we're going to go back to we're going back to our Azeroth. The South Seas, though, and Red Shirt Guy made a very good point about this 2013 BlizzCon. He says, look, we got Northrend, which is very cold, and it starts getting very dry towards the middle. Then we have Pandaria, which we know is around the equator. That's this big, lush, tropical jungle. What's
like the Amazon.
That? Yeah, what's below that? And all three of them that were on the stage gave three different answers. Is there a southern hemisphere? No, yes, I don't know.
Because it's possibly something they're in the middle of developing and they don't want to give it away.
Correct. So that brings in this whole South Seas expansion. The Broken Isles is where the Tomb of Sargeras is. The Tomb of Sargeras is where Gul'dan was looking to go get that one artifact. He was in there. He got inside. He got attacked by things with beady eyes and gnashing teeth, which a lot of theory crafters say were the Naga.
Yes.
So, who better to go? And I've said this now. I know I said this under the whole Eye of Ashara thing when we had it, but who better to go back to get that than Gul'dan himself?
And we haven't had. Everybody's been crying out for Sargeras. Let's see Sargeras. Let's see.
Right. We have. I have said that.
Where is he at in the story?
Because he's the whole thing. He's the only reason why all this is freaking happening.
Right.
Right. And I don't think we're ready for that though.
I agree. I agree with that, but I like to see him. I like to see him.
But taking us in that direction and just using it as a note in your mind. Okay, here now we're going to go here and here's some more stuff and more stuff.
I'm all about the Dark Portal. I know I didn't see much of that in expansion.
If we're going back and we're going to deal with the Burning Legion, and what was Frostcairn's? What was his theory was that Gul'dan becomes part of the Legion, correct?
Right, and that's where he gets the whole demonized thing.
Right, and what does this affect as far as content? What would our purpose be? To stop him? Or that seems lame that it would just
we cannot have him have all three artifacts.
Then he becomes Super Gul'dan and
when Ner'zhul was sitting there opening portals and portals and portals on Outland, he destroyed Outland. That's what caused it to explode.
Right.
So now, and this is the thing too, you started saying Rathian again, and we were talking, this is what really makes me think that Frostcairn is 100% right. Is because what did we learn from Gamescom last year? Tom Chilton said, who was going to be the last boss? Grommash. So we sat there trying to figure out when we were going to fight Grommash, when we were going to fight Grommash. Who did they say was going to be tied in heavily in this expansion? Rathian. What have we been doing? Looking everywhere. I've been doing nothing but looking for Rathian somewhere.
I gave up.
And then they turned around and they changed they said things changed, and Archimonde's now the final boss. When he said, what do you mean? He goes, well, things changed. I don't think things changed. I think this was their intention all along.
Yeah.
Like he said,
Are you thinking like a part 1, part 2 expansion sort of thing?
Well, I'll hit that in a second. Well, here's the thing. This was all a distraction. They needed to get Gul'dan out. Yeah. They needed him. But this entire thing was a distraction. Searching for Rathian, having all the Lord people search for Rathian, was a distraction.
Blizzard's crafty fuckers, because we're so focused on what we see in front of us that we're not really seeing what's in front of us.
All the hunters in the world are like, yay, Blizzard, misdirect.
Right. As the part 1, part 2,
I like that.
I can't remember the name of one of the developers did say that Warlords of Draenor and the next expansion are tied very
They did say that
together.
From the very beginning.
Yeah. So 6 and 7 are tied so close together.
But a lot of fans would not be happy about that,
No,
though.
Here's the thing. They don't have to do anything content change related as far as big game changes. They already made, and this is what I want, you reminded me. The thing to remember when we're going into the next expansion, Blizzard is going to not be focused on changing interfaces and changing graphics and updating models. They've already done that.
That's
That
beautiful.
leaves them free to really drive home content and really make it something amazing, because they changed so much with WOD that they almost don't have anything else to fuck with, really. Like, I mean, stop.
It's a beautiful freaking game.
Leave it alone.
It's adorable.
No, stop doing all these things to it and literally let's go
You're
back.
good.
Go back
I'll
to
tell you
content
why.
and focus. So I'm praying that
Win the
that's
hearts of the players again.
Yeah, I'm
that's
thinking-
what got me, was the lore. That's what
You
got
know-
me, man.
You know how they're going to win back my trust is because at last year's BlizzCon, or quite possibly could have been the one before, someone asked at the Q&A when they were going to put bacon into the game, and all three people on stage said, yes, there's no reason that can't happen. Why hasn't it happened yet?
Bacon
I
isn't a
haven't-
thing in World
all
of
the trust
Warcraft
is
right
gone.
now, unless you're eating.
No, they said they were going to put it in. They haven't done it yet. If it's not in the next expansion, oh my god, Huge Boy's
I'd
going to
love
raid
to
quit
see
and
they
storm
have
out.
priorities with your Ebola self, and it's bacon.
Well, you're going to be at BlizzCon. You got to put out.
No,
You got
'cause
to come in a bacon suit.
I think you guys are like all overthinking the whole expansion thing.
I don't think we're
reckon we
overthinking
just
it.
be like-
I think
It
we
better
have
not
to
be a
done
Naga
it.
expansion.
They're gonna put like another island in, and you know it's no one technical. Like the guy's gonna be, his name's gonna be Steve or something, and it's just, I don't know. There's too many
just-
options.
Get
I
out.
just love how
pick
nothing
Get
one
the
else-
fuck out.
solid
Go.
theory.
Bye, Felicia. Get out. You're not even. Who are you? A plague on both
No.
houses. Get out.
Well, here, let's even throw this.
Like I've heard three different explanations, well, three
There's so
different
many,
theories
you're right,
from you
we'll never
guys,
know.
and they're all legit.
You never
Plus,
know.
you throw in the ones like even the bullshit ones that I've read in the last few
most
days.
of them are
with-
pretty valid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so, like, I'm sitting back going, oh, that would be amazing. And then I read something else and go, well, that first one's got to be bullshit. The one I just read's even more cooler, but even more bullshit. Like,
Right.
there's so many possibilities. My poor, innocent, fragile little bacon-orientated mind just can't handle it.
Let me even blow your mind a little bit
Love it.
further. Why I think this
Uh-oh.
is where we're going. In 2003, on buffed.com or buffed.de, it's a German site, there was a posting made that was a supposedly, this is 2003, there was a supposed leak of the entire timeline for World of Warcraft. Now, I've read through this several times, and it is dead on. When it gets like the Northrend set, they talk about Borean Tundra, Howling Fjord. The only thing they got wrong was Ice Crown Glacier, which just ended up turning to be Ice Crown. As you go a little bit further through this to where we're supposed to be at now. Now, Warlords of Draenor is not on here. They start adding in things like Hiji and the Plundering Isles. And I really think that this is where we're going. We've been promised that we were going to go see the Plundering Isles. We've been promised to go see Kultiras, which is where the Proudmoore family came for. Jaina, Admiral
They
Proudmoore.
could take that bitch back. She's useless as fucking tits on a board. I don't even know what her purpose even serves anymore. Between her daddy issues and her crybaby problems, I don't even know.
Yep.
Say it. You can have her back. Take her.
Dare you say that about the
I know-
interracial loving
I
Jaina?
know you love her. You want her to give your
No,
tank
I
blood,
don't.
I'm sure.
That's a whole episode
We can't
of
hear you.
podcast
Right, so
after
you're
dark.
muted.
She's a team player. She's not a prude at all. She is on it. She's in it to win it. We like her. We like her.
That's the possibility of a blowy on his.
Yeah,
page, so.
she's there for the party. So
If you want to know my theory on that one, ask Hots for shots. I'm sure he'll tell you.
So,
doesn't matter if you're orc or not.
I should put that.
or Dragon, you know.
Dragon doesn't matter.
Cow people.
She really doesn't discriminate. She doesn't.
She
even
doesn't.
mind.
Team player.
But there's some other places though that we have not been to either. I mean, when we start talking about like Kulturist, Telebeam, Kazan. Here's the big one. Now, there's another one out there called the Dark Prophet that people are putting a lot of fan service to. The Dark Prophet was all about going back to Zandalar.
And this was not a
And-
leak, by the way. This was a post that was made over a year ago by somebody tinfoil hatting and a very smart gentleman that wrote this post, of course. But it has been repurposed and
Very
regurgitated as a leak. It's not a leak.
convincingly written.
Starting to talk about how the Zandalari Trolls are allying with the Naga and how that the Zandalar are going to try to make a big empire again. And where's Vol'jin's going to? Vol'jin's not going to leave the Horde. He's not even going to be able to think about it because of his past with Rastakhan and Zol. There's no way in hell he's going back to the
Did
Zandalar.
you say Shaka Khan?
Rastakhan. Close
That's
enough.
funny. Shaka Khan. Yeah, we'll go with that.
So we got all that going on in the background. And then there was another one called the Council of Blades, which I do like because I like the idea of that name, but still using that South Seas expansion. The Council of Blades could be referring to the Council of Tirisfal, which gave the Guardian his powers. We keep seeing this stuff about the Guardian, and these little subtle hints that these lore geeks are picking up, like myself, lore nerds like me are flipping out because why does he have Atiesh? Why does he have?
I wouldn't. I didn't even know what Atiesh was until you told me like 6 months ago. So I would have never have noticed that. I'm trying to get better with the lore, but
and I was proud of you, especially with the pronunciation of the 3 bosses before. I'm good. She's making me so proud.
well, I've been trying to learn my stuff because people are starting to theory craft with me in addition to you because they want to hear my thoughts, and I'm like, I only know what Lycan tells me. So if he doesn't tell me, then I don't really know. So I'm trying to educate myself on the lore aspect of it a little bit more so that I actually have.
You're still 5 steps ahead of me, so be proud.
But can you imagine seeing the entire council and finding out that maybe Medivh's not dead?
New class or no? What do we think about that? We're due for a new class because we didn't get one in Draenor.
Come on, Blizzard. Let's do it.
Do you think
Can
it's
I
adding
shit
too much
on
shit
my
to the
mom?
melting pot by adding another class?
Going back to that Dark Prophet where they said it was going to be the the Dark Ranger or whatever that was called, a Shadow Hunter. I don't think it's going to be Shadow Hunter, but I see if we do get another class, it will be a male-wearing class.
Or maybe a new race, maybe not.
It has to be
necessarily
a Jinyu. What do they call the fish?
maybe
The
not-
fish.
maybe-
Why not?
Oh, those guys, we dealt with them.
The
in,
Jinyu.
yeah,
But
maybe,
you're not going
Not
to
bird
another
people.
neutral race?
maybe,
You're
yeah. Well, no, I don't think a neutral race.
No.
Well, Worgans can
No
be
neutral race.
several things, right? You can
Well, like
be a
the
Horde Worgan,
Pandaren.
right?
No, just the Pandaren. Pandaren is either Horde or Alliance, and that's it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, though, I mean, if they
Oh, that's
do
right.
another one, they would have to do Jinyu and something else. You're not going to get the Ogres, because
No.
the Orcs hate the Ogres. They were enslaved by them for years. You're not going to get Murlocs. I'm sorry, people.
No.
You're not going to get
Forget
Murlocs.
that.
You know what I'm ready
Yeah.
to stop looking
What
at,
about-
and this is no offense. I'm tired of seeing orcs, and I don't mean this in any offense. But
I agree.
how many expansions have we been looking at orcs? And Frost Karen made a good point. He said, "I'm tired of looking at the aesthetics of the orc everything. I just would like something. It could
If
even
they-
be troll. Just for fuck's sake, can you please lay off the orcs? We're
No.
over it already."
No,
No, let's
I don't-
not do
it's-
trolls again.
It's
I
been
think
going.
this-
It's been going off a little bit on the orcs. We went to the trolls for a while, but if they bring back the Burning Crusade, boy oh boy, the war's back on. I think that's what people fell in love with BC. That was epic, and we
You
could
mean-
bring that back with the
you mean
the
bring it
Burning-
back to Burning
How many
Legion.
expansions are we
The
going to
Burning
fight
Legion.
orcs in some form or fashion? Can we not though? I
No,
mean, is
we
that
don't.
not a valid? Can we not?
I don't think
Uh,
it's going to be a Orc bad guy, except
It
for
wouldn't.
Gul'dan. But Gul'dan's going to be the Burning Legion. He's going to look different. I mean, look what the hell happened to Gorfine.
Now, there's demons we haven't even seen before.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's
So I
planes-
mean,
There's planes that we've never been to. Zoroth is one of them. Zoroth is where all the
Now,
Warlocks summon their dread steeds from.
Frost Karen, his theory, which you guys will be able to read when he posted on the PDQ, but his theory is that so we're in Draenor and we're killing shit and we're killing everybody and we're killing all the things and we're looting bodies and doing all this fun stuff. They're doing their thing, and we've Horde and Alliance is sending scouts out through the South Seas to try to see what's what, and then our ships start disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where the ships are; they just start disappearing. So we're ignoring any enemy ships or whatever fuckery is happening on the seas
Yeah.
because we're
And-
busy killing things.
and-
Now
and-
his theory is 2 floating islands, one for Horde and one for Alliance, is going to be where we set up shop, and this opens the
No.
floodgates for possible underwater.
No, and Blizzard, not Blizzard, Danger Dolan and a couple of other guys came out with a couple things about the Naga expansion and the underwater, and I think it's a horrible idea. The fans
do too.
hated the, what's it called, Vashir? We hated it.
I hated
Everybody
Bashir.
did.
I leveled
And-
once on 1-2, and the rest of my alts never went there.
Blizzard they would have to do that when we have like a lot more people playing, so they can lose about 1 million people and just be okay with that. Because I mean, I'll play. I will play because
Yeah.
I find that new and interesting. Although I will hate it, but I'll find it new.
Now, I
you know.
do see us going with a Naga centered, only because we're going to be going back to looking for Gul'dan and looking for these islands. I think we're going to encounter a Naga. I think we're going to encounter finally this will be our 4th old god, rather. We're probably going to end up seeing Enzoth. Enzoth had a lot to do with the Emerald at Nightmare.
Okay.
He had a lot to do with these Whispers. So we've already faced Cthulhu. We faced Yogg-Saron. We faced Yursaz. Yursaz was that black beating heart in Siege of Orgrimmar. I think we're going to end up seeing Enzoth heavily into this one. So we're going to go ahead and get that fourth god. We're going to see a lot of that area. And then Frostcat and I were talking. So we're chasing Gul'dan. What if he wants to go back to, say, Argus? Now, Argus was the original planet of the Draenei, where they were called the Eridar. Yeah. What if he wants to go there? Or Zorathian Plains? Or some of these different other Burning Legion? He goes, so are we going to be time-hopping again? I says, it's not like we haven't done it before. Look at Firelands. Firelands is not on Azeroth. That is on the Elemental Plane.
Yeah.
Which
was really cool.
Yeah, there's no reason they can't set that up again.
I mean, well, here's the thing: it's not. It wouldn't be time travel. That's just portal travel.
Right.
And so if we start chasing Gul'dan, we're actually chasing him in the same timeline that we're in right now in WoD. We're not going to different timelines and chasing him like there's a movie out there. I can't reference it, but there's a movie out there like that.
Well, why not chase him to Argus and go back to Mac'Arry? Mac'Arry we've never been to, which was like this huge. It's like the Dalaran of Argus. That's where, I mean, that was the big city where Velen, Archimonde, and Kil'jaeden were before they got all fucked up. You know, there's so many different things. I really do see us, though, chasing after him, going towards the South Seas expansion. And maybe the big tie-in might have been the Naval Yard. I really hope that's not what it was. But
me doing that.
I don't. Well, maybe possible us. Maybe the end using one of our ships that we built to go forth and kill other shit.
Mike can't even go to the oil rig without getting blown up. How is it going to go anywhere else?
We are, as I anticipated, we don't even have time for the weekend WoW because we're overtime. So,
who are the monkeys in MoP?
Oh,
the Hosen?
I love the Hosen.
The Hosen would be Horde. The Hosen would be Horde, and the Jinyu would be Alliance. They got to bring them back, especially if we go onto a different island. They're going to be close to Pandaria. It's a perfect
nobody
match.
got time for Hosen. I hate them damn monkeys.
I don't see a new race. I do see potentially a new class, but I will not. I will say right now, I
don't see a new class. I see a new race.
As long as they put us in one city, put everyone. In one city, just like Shat and Dalaran.
Yes, make a capital. Don't get rid of capitals. That's what makes the game awesome.
Blizzard, if you're watching, I do have one suggestion. Guild housing. Make it.
Can we please?
Bacon.
Yeah, real Slim Shady, please stand up. Seriously.
Give us guild housing. Bring us a capital again. Get rid of garrisons because that made people.
Well, they're not. They're already not taking the garrisons.
Okay, yeah. Well, we know. I mean, don't even bring that in. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Well, they're always going to be in Draenor, so we can always go back and use them. But they're not going.
But I'm not talking about garrisons. Don't bring the idea. Just leave it alone. Give capital cities. It worked out great. The garrison was the same thing as cell phones at a restaurant. People are always on their freaking cell phone instead of talking, and garrisons were like that in WoD.
I don't know what
Everyone
garrison you're in, but it's never quiet in my garrison because of trade chat. I mean, I don't have a social problem being in my garrison, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't.
No, capitals. There's no comparison to capitals. There's no comparison to capitals.
I never stayed in capitals anyway. I was always somewhere else because I didn't want to deal with the Say chat. I didn't want to deal with other people. But
they don't have bacon in
yeah, they don't have bacon or tacos. There's nothing for me.
Well, I can get it if
we are way over time, and I have children being CC'd. My husband has sent me a picture of an individual with a sweaty butt crack, and he would like to be done. So
baby Batman?
We don't have time for the weekend WoW, but here's what we do need from you guys. If you guys watch this episode, we want to hear what you think. Where do you see this expansion going? What is in your mind? What's your thought process? Tell us what you think. Comment. It could be a long million-story paragraph. It could be many of things. Make sure you tell us how we feel. We love your guys' comments. Even you, Pistol Pete, I love you, and I'm going to make you love me. I'm going to give you tacos and cake until you're my friend. Comment. It can be negative. You guys don't offend me. I don't have feelings. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my,
Where's Terrell and Illyria? Let's put that conversation all over again.
Make sure that you guys comment. Make sure you guys go to the PwnCastDailyQuest.com. We're going to keep you guys abreast of the news. See, I used it a second time. Right?
I like that.
We're going to keep you guys aware of all the news goings on, and we will be having coverage of the August 6th event as well. So if you guys are stuck at work, whatever the case may be, we will be covering that with Facebook posts and Twitter posts and news on the website. You can get a hold of Frieza on BattleTag, which is Frosty
1321.
You think I would know it by now. It's been a year of me giving your battle tag, and I don't even know it. Make sure that you send him an in-game tell when you request a battle tag so he knows who you are. You can get a hold of Lycan pretty much all over the place. It's Lycan everything. You can get a hold of Bloke in Indonesia getting Ebola, or you can get a hold of him on the Facebook page. He has his own huge Bloke page as well as Twitter. And
just leave a piece of bacon outside your window and I'll come running.
He'll come running. You can get a hold of me. You can find me all over Azeroth as well. Thank you guys for the last week. You guys have been stopping by the stream. It's starting to pick up some steam, and we're getting a lot of views, and I enjoy every week hanging out with you guys. So,
add some ideas there. Monday nights are going to be changing on the stream. Please come look at us. Me, Grand Negus from Corpse One Radio, and also Seraphita from Dalaran Academy are going to be discussing
That's
more.
Right. That's right.
We're really going to get more into
a
this
nice
on Monday
roundtable theory crafting session of nerddom. So bring your tinfoil hats and leave your bras at home because it's gonna get rowdy.
I would rather have the Jinyu as Alliance and the Ogres. We gotta get the Ogres.
Remember that one time we were done talking about that? And
Ogres as the Horde has always been a talk and wanted, and it's about that time.
When you guys want to know why I'm a bitch, that's the reason, because he's crazy. In an hour from now, he's going to text me and say, but here's what I think about this, because he is batshit insane. We are going to get on out of here because literally I have a house full of children that are sweating outside. And now it's happened. We're going to get on out of here. Make sure you guys stop by PwnecastDailyQuest.com and make sure you stop by twitch.tv/Pwnecast to see our stream schedule. We're going to get on out of here. Thank you for spending your
I want to hear comments for
every week.
I want to hear comments from people on the YouTube. I want to see comments of who you want for a new race. I want to see it.
Give us all the input.
In an hour's time.
But we're going to get on out of here. Thanks for spending your hour with us every week. We really, really appreciate it. Bye.
Spirit fingers.